That question was put to you by the Honorable Shibambo, but my instructions are that the Honorable Ndlozi will take care of the question. Deputy President.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Section 209(1) of the Constitution of the Republic provides that any intelligence service other than the intelligence division of the Defense Force or the police service may be established only by the President as the head of the national executive and only in terms of national legislation. Currently, the National Strategic Intelligence Act, number 39 of 1994, defines the functions of members of the national intelligence structures. The relevant members of the national intelligence structures provided for in terms of the Act to support government with intelligence services are the following: the Intelligence Division of the National Defense Force, the Intelligence Division of the South African Police, the State Security Agency, and the service. As things stand, there is no bill that the executive has considered or processed in respect of establishing the intelligence services in any government departments and state-owned entities. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. The Honorable Ndlozi.
Thank you, Deputy President and Speaker. Deputy President, would you agree that if there was a unit inside SARS which collected intelligence using covert means, would, according to this answer that you've just provided, be illegal, meaning it would be a rogue unit? And as a result, it would mean that your government has to either take action against the individuals involved, secondly, disband it, but thirdly, Deputy President, make sure that it doesn't happen again. Thank you.
Honorable Deputy President.
Thank you very much. The honorable member would appreciate the fact that this matter that you're speaking about, as we speak, it's in front of the court as to determine whether that unit was correctly established or not correctly established. So it would be really prematurely or wrong for us to start talking about a matter that is before court. Let's allow the court to finalize the matter without us talking about it and putting our views. Thank you very much.
Point of order, Speaker.
What is your point of order?
With the greatest respect, Honorable Speaker, there is a precedence. The matter of sub judice was clarified that indeed we can, because there is no court that can suspend, because of the separation of powers, your government being held accountable about the activities happening under your watch. Essentially, you are saying we can't do our duty until a court says so. So a matter can be commented on. There is a ruling of this House to that effect, Honorable Speaker. I plead with you, direct the Deputy President in line with the Constitution to answer the question and not say, no, I don't want to answer it. He must be held accountable. His government must be held accountable. If there was a rogue unit within SARS established by Honorable Jamnandis, isn't it obvious that your government must take action against him and all those that participated in that unit?
Thank you, honorable members. May I rule on this point of order? Order.
Chair.
Order. Honorable members, Honorable Ndlozi says we must rule on this matter. The truth of the matter is that this matter is not only in front of the court, it is pending the decision of the court. Secondly, you do have a rule that says when any matter is pending a judicial decision, it's very specific. that we cannot talk on it. I don't think that that says that we are mum or that we are scared or that we can't deal with the matter. I think that the precedents you are referring to is something that I will look at. But for now, I will rule that that question, this supplementary, be set aside until I can get clarity on that, and therefore that, Deputy President, your response for today is sufficient. I want to, Honorable Ndlozi, I do not want to enter into a question and answer session with you. Deputy President, please take your seat.
Speaker, I respect that. Oh, can I address you, Speaker?
You will address me?
Thanks. I respect that. But can we get an assurance that then you will direct him to write that answer to us? Because you are going to make up your mind, as you say, Honorable Speaker, as to whether you should persuade the Deputy President to answer, because we submitted a question. This is the follow-up. We are well within our rights. If you arrive at the determination that the Deputy President, there's no court order that says we can't hold him accountable. If you arrive at such a determination, can you please have him put it in writing, because our supplementary question was not answered.
Thank you very much. The supplementary question was answered. And I want to say that I find it very difficult, members, to all of you, when you instruct us how to rule, when we are presiding. It's very problematic. I've ruled on this matter, and it will stay there. Honorable Steenhuisen, you have a matter?
Madam Speaker, may I request that this matter is referred to the Rules Committee? Because we have had precedents in the past. Got rulings from the Honourable Ginwala made in the House before, and as well as in the Fifth Parliament. The sub judice rule does no longer apply in South African law. The MIDI television case, it was held in the Constitutional Court, was very clear on that. What we can't do is discuss the merits of the case. But frankly, there are other issues that relate to the so-called rogue unit that have been dispensed with already by the Nugent Commission, as well as by Parliament. And I think that to rule this type of question out of order, it severely impedes members of Parliament's ability to do that. So may I ask that this ruling is referred to the Rules Committee urgently, because otherwise ministers and the executive are going to hide behind the sub judice rule continuously, in spite of the MIDI television ruling in the courts. Thank you.
Honourable members, I will refer this to the Rules Committee, but my ruling stands. The supplementary to the Deputy President says he must express an opinion, and that opinion would be out of order since he is not a court, and that is why I'm ruling it out of order. Can we proceed, please, to the Honourable Singh?
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Speaker, one can only smile at how loaded this question is, but it's a right of any member to ask any question in this House. That aside, Honourable Deputy President, gathering information as such is not illegal if done within the confines of the law. Businesses gather information, state-owned entities gather information, and that's commonly referred to as due diligence. And I trust, Honourable Deputy President, that the government is not intending to silence those that enter into a due diligence process. For example, Denel may want to examine what the ground is like when they get an order for arms. And they would look at other suppliers around the world, and they would do a due diligence. Is it the intention of government to suppress any state-owned entity from entering into the principle of due diligence? Thank you.
Deputy President.
Thank you very much. Probably I should refer you to the Act. I'm going to read some extracts from the Act so that probably it will clarify all of us. Functions of other departments of state with reference to national security intelligence. If any law expressly or by implication requires that Department of State, other than the agency or the service, to perform any function with regard to the security of the Republic or combating of any threat to the security of the Republic, such law shall be deemed to empower such department to gather departmental intelligence. and to evaluate, correlate, interpret such intelligence for the purpose of discharging such function, provided that such Department of State shall not gather departmental intelligence within the Republic in a covert manner, provided such Department of State shall not gather departmental intelligence outside the Republic in a covert manner. I can proceed and proceed. But any department that seeks to gather information, it should do that through a law. And that law should come through this Parliament. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. The Honorable Shakeman.
Thank you, Speaker. Deputy President, let me remind this House that there are legal experts that are saying that this rogue unit is not necessarily illegal, even though it hadn't come via the President. But that's the first thing. But the intelligence in South Africa, in my view, Deputy President, is ineffective. Had it been effective, then of course my friends in red would not have looted the VBS bank for starters. They would not have evaded the SARS, and they would have paid their taxes.
Yeah,
Now,
point of
what
order.
are you going to do, Deputy President, to ensure that intelligence is more effective in South Africa?
Imam, have you finished putting your question?
There was no question. I'm raising on a point of order. Speaker.
Can I address him first? Have you finished, say, putting your question?
Deputy President, what are you going to do to ensure that we have a more effective intelligence to prevent the looting of funds like what has happened by my friends in red with the VBS bank and the evasion of taxes in South Africa through SARS? Can you please tell us?
Honorable Ndlozi, you rose on a point of order. What is your point of order?
The point of order is that the honorable member says there are people who are wearing red, and Honorable Barbara Day is wearing red, who have looted VBS Bank. The chief whip of the house is wearing red. Has she looted VBS Bank? If that's the case, he's impugning on the reputation of honorable members without a substantive motion. I would rule that you rule him out of order, and he must withdraw those comments, because people who are wearing red in this house, there's no court of law that have said they've looted any bank. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable
Point of order.
Your point of order, sir.
The point of order, Madam Speaker, is simply this, and the Honourable Sheikh doesn't have a whip in the House, so it falls on me to do it. There's been plenty of precedent of the House that a member can make any comment about a political party. He can't make it about individuals. So even if the Honourable Sheikh had said the EFF had looted from VBS, it would have been within the rules. If it identified an individual and said individual or member X had done it, it would have been outside the rule. The Honourable Sheikh is well within the rights of to say what he did.
Speaker. Honorable Deputy President, please take your seat. Honorable Mkalipi.
Speaker, on a point of order, we can't move on that premise, because if someone stood up here and said the DA have stolen the land, that one is going to be a problem. So please ask Sheikh Iman not to provoke the EFF, because there is no court of law or any report for that matter have found any EFF on that report.
Point of order, Chair.
So we must not enter into that debate, especially with this member
Honorable
who
members.
has a fraud case. But we don't speak about that fraud case here, Speaker.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, may I rule? Order. Order. Honorable members, it is not unparliamentary to refer to a political party. We've had precedents. If you remember, in 2014, there was a matter taken to court by the EFF, and that matter we lost as Parliament because they referred to the ANC in a particular matter. So the Honorable Sheikh Imam went in a very roundabout way to pose this question and referred to members wearing red is actually not unparliamentary. So I rule against that. Honorable Deputy President, please proceed.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, please take your seat.
The assertion by the honorable member who asked the follow-up question that our intelligence structures are not up to scratch. I'll differ with that. Because as we stand, we're in a very secure country. We are out of any threat. We're not threatened as South Africa. Our defense is doing very well. Our police are doing very well. Of course, there might be issues that will crop from time to time, but that does not mean our intelligence structures are ineffective. There, I beg to differ. They are. The country is stable. There's no threat that you can say there's foreign invasion, there's this and this. Our intelligence structures are effective.